Okay, right, there's 3 more awards left, and they are big ones, and they are exciting, and I'm excited for you that we're all going to see them. So 2013 was a year when we finally ticked the box on full legal equality, almost pretty much for lesbian and gay people, when Parliament passed legislation that will enable people of the same sex to marry. We like to call it equal marriage, not same-sex marriage, or gay marriage. Thank you, newspapers. Various people helped from a coalition that included lesbian and gay MPs, Conservative MP Nick Herbert, Labour MP Chris Bryant, Liberal Democrat MP Stephen Gilbert. Thank you, Stephen. Appreciate everything you do, and all of them, thank you very much. They all work particularly hard, as well as strong support from the many heterosexual MPs, many of whom made powerful speeches in the House. Also were Stonewall and the Coalition for Equal Marriage, and Ben Cohen of Pink News, who's here, who doesn't often get recognised. He did an amazing job. I was glad to see him in the Pink list. Thank you, Ben Cohen. Yes, and also I want to say a very quick thank you, going off script for 1 second. Michael Salter is the Prime Minister's head of broadcast. We would not have had this, I don't think, if it wasn't for Michael Salter. He never gets any recognition. He's a really important person. He works really hard, and he's worked really hard for equal marriage, and I'm really appreciative of him, and I think we all should be, so thank you. So extra special thanks goes to a man who's been an exceptional voice in the House of Lords. It's far harder to demonise a group of people when you have someone reasonable saying, this is about me. So thank you, Lord Wahid Ali. Thank you. When Attitude interviewed David Cameron for our exclusive cover story, very good cover, I enjoyed it, before the last election, we asked him if we could trust him to deliver on gay equality. He told us his party had changed and has since included gay people in his speeches many times. You all have heard it. It's a massive step forward, and I appreciate it. The Prime Minister took a huge amount of heat for his decision to support equal marriage from the right of his own party, from the Coalition for Marriage. Thank you to them. They were right. I'm now engaged to an Alsatian. Thank you. Very happy dog. From sections of the media and the religious leaders, including the Archbishop of Westminster, Vincent Nichols, who chose last Christmas Day while I was having my dinner with my mum and dad to attack gay equality. Merry Christmas! And also Cardinal Keith O'Brien, who was later outed as a closet homosexual. I still can't believe it. Still, the Prime Minister, taking a lot of flack, stuck to his guns. It would have been easier to drop the legislation, but he didn't. Even now, the issue is being used to undermine him, which I think is a pretty shameful affair. And it's probably why he's not here tonight. For pushing through equal marriage, we thank and acknowledge the Prime Minister. I'm a big lefty, but I appreciate the Prime Minister did what he did. We wouldn't have got it without him. So, the final votes were interesting. The vast majority of Labour MPs and Liberal Democrat MPs voted in favour of equal marriage. A very, very slim majority of Conservative MPs voted against equal marriage. Still, we are making progress. And so, tonight, the award for Politician of the Year goes to all of the MPs who voted in favour of equal marriage. And to collect the award on their behalf, please welcome the Leader of the Opposition, Ed Miliband.
And I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to accept this award on behalf of people right across the House of Commons. I want to pay tribute to David Cameron, to Nick Clegg, to people from right across the House of Commons who made this possible. But as well as being proud to accept this award on behalf of MPs, I want to dedicate this award to the people who really made it possible. And that is not the politicians. That is all the campaigners from the LGBT community who campaigned for equal marriage and put pressure on us politicians. Because the reality is that the way political change happens is not just because leaders make it happen, but because communities and because of pressure from below. And I want to say two things to you tonight about the battle for equality. First of all, the battle for formal equality may be being won, but I want to acknowledge that the battle for real equality in community after community across this country is not yet won. And I know we have to win that battle in the years ahead. And that is about the cultural change. And that is about the cultural change that Ben Cohen was talking about just before I spoke. I also want to say, as somebody who saw Stephen Fry's documentary last night, that I know that the international battle for equality has such a long way to go. And I dedicate our party, the Labour Party, to fighting that battle on behalf of this country. Let me end by saying this. If you compare where we are now to where we were when Attitude was founded in 1994, we have seen extraordinary change. We have seen extraordinary change in terms of the abolition of Section 28. We have seen change in terms of civil partnerships, in terms of the equalisation of the age of consent, in terms of equal marriage, in terms of adoption by gay couples. Now, why has that change happened? That change has happened because of people gathered in this room and people campaigning across the country. And I want to leave you with a quote from my favourite political speech by Robert Kennedy. He said, "Each time someone stands up for an ideal, it can send forth a tiny ripple of hope. And that ripple of hope can sweep down the mightiest walls of oppression and resistance." Thank you to Attitude magazine. Thank you to the LGBT community. Let's keep fighting the battle for equality here and around the world. Thank you very much.
So an Attitude Award, that's quite a big deal. How does that feel for you?
Well, I'm incredibly proud to receive this award, but it's not really on behalf of me or even all the politicians who made equal marriage happen. It's all the campaigners, including Attitude magazine, who said equal marriage is the right next step to bring formal equality for gay and lesbian people in this country. And so I want to thank Attitude magazine and all the campaigners who made it possible.
And that must be such an honourable feeling to come up here and actually be able to receive that award, because I know you just mentioned all of those other people that are involved, but you're here tonight, and that really does speak volumes as well.
Well, I'm incredibly proud of the Labour Party and all the Labour MPs who voted for equal marriage and made it possible for it to happen. And I'm incredibly proud of the House of Commons and indeed our country, because, you know, if you'd said 20 years ago we're going to pass legislation on equal marriage, people have said we don't believe it. It's not going to happen. And it sort of seemed like a dream then, and it's happened, and that's a great thing about our country.
Well, thank you so much,
Thank you
and congratulations
very much.
for accepting that award. Thank you.